How's it going, everyone? It might have been 23 years since they've last done it, but the Packers finally did it. So 23 years later, with the 23rd overall pick in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the draft, the Packers selected wide receiver Matthew Golden with their first round pick. And it has been a long time coming. We kind of did need a wide receiver in this draft. Didn't think there was a chance, but it was kind of unexpected that Matthew Golden would probably drop to the Packers. A lot of the consensus draft board and some mock drafts had Emeka Egbuka coming down to us. But I'm very glad that we got Matthew Golden, who's he's branded the second fastest 40-yard time. He has great hands. He's very versatile. He plays on the outside, inside, and he's just a great piece to add to this offense. And if you're going to add a receiver, this is probably the type of receiver we needed to add to this deep yet underperforming wide receiver group. And so I did make a video considering he was a top 30 visit of pretty much his traits, his RAS score, his production in college, his strengths and weaknesses. So I'll link it up over here, whichever side it pops up on, if you want to go see that. But what he does add to this team is obviously the speed, replacing Christian Watson, considering he's out currently with an ACL injury and won't return till probably the later half of the NFL season. And he also brings some versatility. He can play on the outside. He can switch inside. Doesn't really matter. He's comfortable at both positions. He adds speed once again. And in Texas, they kind of did a lot of pre-snap motion with him, which Matt LaFleur does like to do. This adds another weapon for him to do that. So it'll probably fit in very well with this offensive group. And once again, he has pretty reliable hands. Gutekunst spoke on it, saying he has arguably the best hands in the draft. And this is something that the Packers definitely needed in this wide receiver group, especially after last year with all the receivers dropping balls after dropping balls and pretty much let Jordan Love down, unfortunately. And so with the addition of Matthew Golden, I'm sure he's going to be competing for a starting spot in this offense. Of course, with Romeo Doubs probably being opposite of whoever earns that number one position. Probably Matthew Golden, you would expect, but we'll see how the offseason goes. But it also probably spells the end of Mecole Hardman, potentially, considering it's going to be very tough for him to earn a spot with this receiver crew. Initially be brought in as a speed receiver and maybe on special teams. Well, Matthew Golden kind of checks all those boxes. He's got speed. He can do punt returns. He can do kick returns. So Mecole Hardman's starting to become a camp body at this rate, and I don't really see him making it onto the roster, but we'll see how the offseason goes. And now the Packers go into day 2 with 2 draft picks. They got a second rounder, 54th overall, and a third rounder at 87th overall. And I don't see them going wide receiver. I don't think the wide receiver group is going to be a position where they double dip, at least early on, considering the wide receiver group was kind of already filled up with good players, yet underperforming once again. And with Matthew Golden, it feels like it kind of solidifies that position, and we'll be looking more towards the defensive lineman. So in day 2, I feel like the Packers are definitely going to try to get a defensive lineman, probably in an edge rusher, and then maybe an offensive lineman, depending on how the draft falls. Could they go corner? It depends on who does fall. There are a couple of good day 2 corners that kind of were first round prospects, but due to maybe injury or just sliding down the draft, we could see a cornerback. But I do think we will at least be seeing someone on the defensive line getting picked for the Packers. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Matthew Golden, welcome to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Glad to have you. And as always, go Pack, go.